Good morning, everyone. The American Academy of Pediatrics is out with some new guidelines for the first time in 15 years on childhood obesity. Some of it is a little controversial, depending on who you talk to. So doctors are now recommending that children be treated early and aggressively, including prescribing medication, maybe even surgery. Dina Demetrius shares one teenager's story who's hoping to reach others who may feel isolated.
18-year-old Rose Garcia says she's been overweight as long as she can remember.
I went to a regular yearly physical at my primary care, and I communicated how I wanted to get some help to lose weight.
The teen also needed medication for high blood pressure. Doctors reviewed diet, exercise, and medication.
It was having some negative side effects, and I really wasn't too happy with it. And I communicated my interest in bariatric surgery.
New guidelines from the American Academy of Pediatrics highlight there's more evidence than ever that treating obesity in children is safe and effective. Watchful waiting or delaying treatment is no longer recommended.
Childhood obesity can lead to a raft of physical and psychological conditions. These include type 2 diabetes, hypertension, depression.
Dr. Iwama Inelli with Nationwide Children's Hospital co-authored the guidelines, which say effective treatment may include nutrition support, physical activity, behavioral therapy, medication, and metabolic and bariatric surgery.
It is not about a number with the weight or the body mass index group. It is about health. It's about helping that child feel happier.
Obesity affects around 14.5 million children in the U.S., and the numbers have been increasing. It's been 6 months since Rose's surgery. She's lost over 90 pounds and no longer needs blood pressure medication.
I feel like it's one of the best decisions I've ever made for myself, for my own health, but also mentally.
She wants other teens to know they are not alone and help is available. Dina Demetrius, CBS News.
Now, the guidelines specify that doctors should offer children 12 and older obesity weight loss medication option along with behavior and lifestyle treatment, and that teenagers 13 and older with severe obesity can be evaluated for surgery. Of course, we want to talk about this with our trusted pediatrician. Dr. Keith Watson is here, and for some people this has been a controversial topic, these new guidelines, especially when you hear the words meds and surgery for children, so you get the controversy.
There's a lot of information here.
There's a lot of information. Let's start here with what we talked about before we went on the air. There is a difference, and it needs to be determined early on, between being overweight and obese.
Correct. And the doctor in the piece even mentioned something called your BMI, your body mass index.
Okay.
And that is a better way at looking weight, at weight, that compares your weight to your height.
Okay.
Someone who's 6'3" and weighs 200 pounds is very different than someone who's 5'8" and weighs 200 pounds.
Right.
So BMI proportions your weight and your height, so you get a better assessment of your weight.
Right.
It's not magic.
Okay.
Football players, athletes that lift weights and are big, thick guys or gals, their BMI will be higher, and on paper, that BMI number will be high, and they will look to be overweight or obese when they're actually not. Overweight is defined when your BMI is between the 85th and 95th percentile.
Okay.
Obesity is greater than 95th.
Okay. So BMI, the number that's on the scale, but something else to consider is the body type, because some people just carry weight in different places.
In some ways you can't fight your genetics.
That's exactly right, yes. So when we hear the American Academy of Pediatrics talking about doing things to help children who are overweight or obese, so what we want to first start thinking about is lifestyle changes. I would assume you would have those conversations.
Right, and I'm sure the conversation where the controversy arises with this is where you hear give kids medicine or pills.
Yeah.
Weight loss is something, when we're talking in these recommendations, these are not young children that are 5 and 10 pounds overweight.
Right.
These are young people that are extremely overweight, and the treatment for that is a multifactorial process. You have not only, or not need, that's a better word, you need not only to exercise, but people that are overweight, to approach this, need nutrition counseling, You need behavior therapy on how to manage these things.
Because it's not easy. I mean,
It's
the
not
mind
easy.
over matter thing.
Absolutely. So in addition to exercising and in addition to watching what you eat, you get someone who can help you work through the exercise and the eating and what to eat and how much and when and those types of things. And then in addition, if it's needed, children 12 and older can see a physician to discuss medication to help weight loss. And then for those children 13 and over that are severely obese, surgery is an option, and that's the key word on this, is option.
Right, and these, when you talk about options, it's talking it over with your doctor.
Correct. Someone who wishes to have surgery can come see me and say, hey doc, I want to talk with someone about having surgery. I can then send them to a specialist who does the surgery to go over with them the pros, the cons. If it is a situation where surgery would benefit that individual, then that's a conversation between them and that physician. So it's much more than here's some pills and let's go get surgery. This involves lifestyle changes in addition to these other options.
And the main point is, you know, it's the long-term goal. It's to offset lifelong problems that can come from being overweight at a young age that just continue to go on.
Correct.
Okay. All right, good advice as always. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Happy
This is
New
the
Year.
first time we've seen each other, yeah. All right, what do you owe? Credit card debt and how to manage it. That's another big talker. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. When stimulus checks were being sent out during the pandemic, the personal savings rate in the U.S. hit a record. But there's been a total reversal since then, and credit card debt is now on the rise. Jared Hill explains.
It shouldn't be, but I have $13,000 of credit card debt currently.
And for Jamie Fellman, that's actually an improvement. This past summer, she was nearly $20,000 in debt and shared it all on social media.
I have a lot of debt. It's partially because I was irresponsible with my money and partially because I was never taught how to manage my money.
I just sort of thought of it as this thing that was eventually going to go away. If I ignored it enough, maybe it would just disappear one day.
A new survey from Bankrate finds 46% of credit card holders carry debt, up from 39% last year.
And that debt is more expensive. Credit card rates are near their highest point ever.
Bankrate's Ted Rossman says the average interest rate is almost 19.6%. When you couple that with an average credit card debt of $5,500,
and you only make minimum payments, you're going to be in debt for about 17 years, and you're going to pay about $7,500 just in interest.
But Rossman says one solution is to transfer the debt to a new card with a 0% one introductory interest rate.
So essentially, the new card pays off the old cards, and then you pay the new card back at a much lower rate.
Fellman got a 0% card, increased her payments, and created a budget, sharing it all on TikTok in the hope of helping others.
On this side are my categories. On this side is how much I allocate each month.
What's been the hardest part along the way?
Learning how to have boundaries.
Feldman says she now has financial boundaries, and she's hoping to pay off all of her debt in a year. Jared Hill, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
All right, the cryptocurrency industry is starting 2023 amid growing fraud concerns. From failed digital coin exchanges to online scams, law enforcement and federal regulators are issuing some new warnings. The FBI says scammers in so-called pig butchering schemes fatten up the pig by getting the victim to think they're investing in crypto and then steal the money and butcher off communication. Mike Valerio has a look at how to avoid becoming a victim.
Get ready for another crypto roller coaster ride this 2023. The FBI and other agencies are raising concerns about an online scam called pig butchering.
We're not talking about what's going on farms. We're talking about a cryptocurrency investment scam that is sweeping the country. It is costing Americans billions of dollars in losses.
Authorities are urging you to be careful when getting random texts or messages through social media with invitations to start investing in cryptocurrencies.
When you finally ask for your money, guess what? Your friend has disappeared.
It comes as several recent crypto-related headlines sent a chill through an already anxious community. First, Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of failed crypto exchange platform called FTX, pleaded not guilty this month to federal fraud and conspiracy charges linked to his company's meltdown. Then, the SEC charged 6 people in an investment scheme called CoinDeal that raised more than $45 million on false promises of access to blockchain technology. And also this month, U.S. regulators have issued their first joint statement warning banks and others about the risks of fraud, volatility, and poor risk management in the crypto world. So what can you do to avoid becoming a victim? Law enforcement officials say scammers usually target their victims by sending mass texts, hoping somebody takes the bait.
Perpetrators of these crimes have been trained in techniques of psychological deception, in techniques to gain people's trust.
The statement was issued jointly by the Federal Reserve, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. All right, coming up, sometimes it just takes a little love to make the day better. We will tell you why one man is on a mission to do that. It's coming up next on Mid Morning. All right, we're back, everyone. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is next week. Local communities are preparing to honor the life and legacy of MLK and the hard work and efforts in his fight for equality. Our Desmond Matthews talked to the coordinator of one of the area's largest events.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day isn't just an off day for workers.
It's actually supposed to be a day of service, and we hope that this year people will want to come out and help make this one of the biggest ones since COVID.
Anna Jones is the coordinator of the MLK Jr. Day in West Point. She says that the COVID-19 pandemic changed the way they celebrate the day. The city has a march to start off the day, which has usually been followed by a program with different speakers. But now the focus is less on the words and more on the deeds. And now those speakers are being replaced by a food drive.
We know there are a couple of food pantries, but Project Homestead is the one that everybody really goes to, most people. So we're trying to do Project Homestead food drive for them.
The food drive allows people to be hands-on for the day of service. Jones says she's thankful for the folks who come out, but she's targeting a specific group this year, the youth of the area.
That's the next generation, and we're trying to inspire them that it's not boring, but it's a real good activity for them to come to.
The committee will hold a food drive drop-off at Mary Holmes College Gymnasium. And while Jones is glad they can come together again this year, she still wants people to take care.
Try and, social distance and just be cautious because we still have COVID. It's not gone.
And again, that was Desmond Matthews reporting on that. The food drive will be Saturday from 9:30 until 2. It will be at Mary Holmes College. The annual march will kick off Monday morning at 9 o'clock. A father from Iowa is giving back in a big way to a children's hospital in Des Moines that cared for his 2 children when they had cancer. Both are in remission now, and their father is using a therapy dog to bring joy to other patients. Laura Terrell has the report.
Inside Blank Children's Hospital, one visitor likes to pause
and you know what?
And stare, but her gaze,
can we say hi? Can Ruby visit?
Is melting hearts in each room.
You like Ruby? Ruby's soft.
18-month-old Kaiden Byler has been in the hospital for 9 days with pneumonia.
She might even give you kisses. I like that smile.
And this visit from a golden retriever therapy dog,
give me 5. Oh, there's kisses.
Is the first time he's giggled in a while.
She passed the therapy test on the first try, and I knew this was the place that we wanted to come. Give me a hug.
Rob Ridnor is no stranger to Blank Children's Hospital.
Let's go. Good girl.
His daughter Jordan received chemotherapy here for years.
I was diagnosed at the age of 8. I was diagnosed with T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. Basically, I just kind of stopped breathing and I collapsed.
Now 23 years old, Jordan is in remission, but she'll never forget the therapy dog who put her at ease during that dark time.
He'd come and I'd always be excited because it's Scout.
Good heel.
Just 3 years ago, Jordan's younger brother Jacob got his own devastating diagnosis, the same rare cancer.
It was hard. It was unbelievable. It was, are you kidding me?
More than a decade after his sister, Jacob too would find comfort from Blank's therapy dogs.
Say hi to Myra.
With 2 children, now cancer-free, Rob decided it's time to pay it forward.
But there you go. This is Ruby.
So kids here on the 3rd floor and their parents.
Hello, sweet baby. Hi. Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful.
Can feel this kind of joy.
We have 2 dogs at home, and it makes me feel happy, and it reminds me of them.
It's a level of love only an animal can bring.
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
It just brings a sense of home to a place that doesn't feel so homey, and just a sense of like kind of power to push through, and like there's such happy things out in the world.
Here we go.
The Ridner family says Ruby is now creating happy memories for them in a place once clouded with sadness.
I've been on that other side of the table, and I understand it's not comfortable sleeping here day in and day out.
What a full circle moment for you.
I think so. You know, we often talk about we can't maybe choose the paths that we get on, but we can choose our attitude and, you know, and how we respond. Right? She's a field-bred golden.
And the response here has been pretty doggone cute.
Oh, that's so nice.
And Jordan Ridner is hoping to become a social worker. She says her experience with cancer helped shape her career choice and her outlook on life. Well, here's a story you have to see and hear to believe, a lesson in hidden talents and the joy of discovering. Vladimir Dutier explains.
This Colorado boy is a piano prodigy would not be enough. That's 11-year-old Jude, who has autism. One day, he just sat down at the family's electric keyboard, and this is what came out. Jude could listen to any music and figure out how to play it immediately. It was as if he had been taking lessons for years. But Jude has a different explanation.
I was inspired. I was inspired by God.
Jude was featured in a local TV report which caught the attention of professional piano tuner Bill Magnuson. Saying Jude had Mozart-level talent, Magnuson used his father's inheritance to buy the youngster a grand piano, and here it is, arriving in the family's home. An act of kindness that has changed his life.
And that is coming from a whole total stranger who never knew him but just decided to help him in that grand style. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes.
Jude and his father Isaiah Kufi told us he now plans to play every day and is learning to read music.
I never stop.
Always on and on and on and on. Yeah.
3 hours a day.
A divine talent, which his family hopes will ensure him a brighter future. Vladimir Dutier, CBS News, New York.
And Jude has played concerts at the local children's hospital where his family hopes he will inspire other children with special needs. All right, still to come, it's got to be out there searching for treasure. That's next on Mid-Morning. All right, welcome back, everyone. Few things spark the imagination like a good old treasure hunt, and a big one is underway overseas. Officials in the Netherlands have published an old map, believed to reveal where German soldiers had hid millions of riches looted during World War II. Tina Cross brings us this story from London.
If X marks the spot, that sound means treasure hunter Jan Hinsen could be getting closer. He says, I'm quite tickled. I've been searching this area for 30 years and have found some nice Roman objects, but I never knew Nazi treasure was buried here. The Dutch National Archive revealed the news, posting a treasure map online that was kept hidden for 75 years under the Official Secrets Act. This archives official says the red crosses show where 4 boxes of treasure are buried. Millions of dollars worth of treasure. She says there are brooches, necklaces, silver and gold coins, rubies, diamonds, lots of valuables. Modern-day explorers are descending on the Dutch town, which was on the front line in World War II, hoping to uncover the booty German soldiers looted after a bank explosion in 1944. The town's mayor says it's all pretty fascinating, but he's a bit afraid. I just don't want people to start digging haphazardly, he says, or it will get out of hand. Hinzen is still on the hunt. He says, I think it's buried here, and I'm not the only one because I already see some big holes in the ground. More clues in a race for riches that may never be won. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
And Dutch officials got the map from a German soldier shortly after World War II and tried twice to find the treasure in 1947, but came up empty. We'll be right back to wrap things up. All right, there's a new movie opening Friday based on a popular novel, and it stars a two-time Oscar winner. David Daniel brings us a preview.
Hey, Otto! No. Don't you dare let that little red dog piss on my walkway again.
Ignore him, Print. He has no idea who's doing that.
Well, it was one of you.
Tom Hanks is a grumpy widower in A Man Called Otto.
Every time he opens the door, you're seeing his whole life on display right then and there.
Are you always this unfriendly?
I am not unfriendly.
Okay, you're not. Every word you say is like a warm cuddle.
Hank's co-stars seem as enthusiastic about him as their characters are about Otto.
When I realized that Tom Hanks was attached to the project, I couldn't believe it. I mean, my jaw was like, ah, what? So that was, of course, the first moment of like, oh my God, what a gift of life.
I have a cat.
Obviously, there's no one better than Tom Hanks playing someone like Otto, and he's one of the best actors ever.
Hanks says he thinks everyone knows an Otto.
The guy in the neighborhood that on sometimes is cranky, but at other times is helpful. But even when he's helping you out, he's sort of like pointing out to you that you're not head and anybody should be able to do this. You don't have a driver's license? How old are you?
It's just such a beautiful story, funny and dramatic, and with a lot of, I don't know, it's one of those films that I think we need in these moments.
I felt ultimately that this film is a life-affirming movie of a community coming together, and I felt like in the times we live in, we all need to come together.
You think you have to do everything on your own? But guess what? No one can.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, we are all out of time. I always enjoy hearing from you. You can get to us on social media, or you can send us an email. We'll see you back here tomorrow.